What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. As you can probably see by the title of this video, we've got something kind of exciting for today's vlog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself over to Leeds. I've got 2 clients at half sessions, and after that I'm going to be working on model prep basically for a look. Just going to get set up. We've got a pretty busy day today, to be honest with you. We've got everything from haircuts, we've got just commercial stuff, and then we're also going to be doing the, the shoot as well, and that's going to be pretty editorial, like I was saying before. So it's going to be like, we're going to be like carving a panel into his hair, almost like a Mohican kind of style, and then we're going to be then working like almost like either tram lines, zigzags, whatever the hell we end up doing, to be honest with you. What's happening, guys? So we've got Alex, our model, in now, so we get the fun part of the day, So what we've just been chatting about is I think we're going to do like a little, like almost like a hairline fracture through basically his Mohican. We're going to try and keep this a little bit disheveled. We're not looking to do something completely perfect, and this is one of those things that people don't understand. When we're doing shoots and editorials, we don't necessarily want the hair to look as perfect as what we would see in like Instagram photos, where every single place has a hair to be, or it's just like making it just look too defined basically. What we want to do is find the beauty in things that shouldn't be beautiful, and that is basically what we're trying to basically do with this. So we're going to basically grab half guard, we're going to go straight down here. We're not going to take this right the way down to a 0 just yet, because I want to see how it looks with a little bit of stubble. I also want to see how that translates to camera, because when I'm out on shoot, I could literally take that down to a 0. What we always want to do is work on something gradually throughout a shoot, rather than going straight into it and just assuming the fact that that's going to be the one. Sometimes when we're working on shoots, we might have like 3-4 different looks, and especially if somebody's then cycling through what they're wearing, we're working with stylists, we've got to think about these things when we're obviously going ahead with it. But enough of me yabbering on, let's get fucking going. So I'm gonna grab our Babyliss. I've got my low pros, fucking love these as a tool, just as general. So I'm gonna open this up to as a half, and I'm literally gonna go from where his recession point is here. I'm gonna go past the round of the head, just because I think it's gonna give us that little bit more of a dramatic look. So if you wanna come around here then. So we're literally just gonna come straight through, really nice and rough. And then we're going to come straight up and over like that. And you can see the fact that we're not creating too big of a line here or anything too defined. It's more about keeping a little bit of softness from where that hair goes short to longer. Just tidy up some of those neck hairs. I'm going to tidy them up completely, so you can see that hair's growing basically upwards, and that's just going to make sure the fact that we have no like stray hairs almost looking like out of place. And you can see the fact that I'm being nice and fluid with things as well, just to try and make it look like he did this himself. We don't want it to look like he's come into a barbershop and got something like this. We want to look like one of his mates has done it whilst absolutely spangled on the sofa. He also got a tattoo, a camel on his toe, all that fucking bait shit that happens at the afters, because that's really the brief that we're trying to sort of do, is that kind of like raver, I don't give a fuck, a little bit grungy, a little bit punky. All them good flavours. All them good flavours that are really in fashion as well at the moment. Like, we've obviously got a beautiful time as hairdressers and as like artists, as I call myself. Whether some of you guys will agree, I don't know, but because there's so many subcultures and so many ways that you can go with fashion nowadays, we're just seeing a resurgence in all these really cool sort of like micro trends or like subcultures essentially. So like it's quite a lot of punk that, I mean, you even see that in high fashion. If you look at Rick Owens and look back at like some of the history books and like some old magazines and stuff like that, you can see that in the fashion, to be honest with you. You do tend to get like these little divots where there's like a little harder spot, and I think that's going to translate to camera fucking sick, to be honest. That should look cool. Because it's not too long, I was going to do like a little bit of like a dishevelled kind of one, but on an angle, and kind of just come through that centre line, but I might do it at the end. Like again, we can build this up over time, but even just this by itself now is giving that kind of a little bit more editorial kind of feel to it. So I think that's going to be a nice basis for us to come through with the clipper. But of course we don't do anything unless we're caffeinated. Which is probably not a really good idea, because thinking about it, I'm about to... To be fair, it probably help. So when you're doing this kind of work as well, just fucking get in there. It's the best advice that I can ever give somebody. Like, there is no point doing the whole over-analysing the shit out of something and then sort of thinking, oh, is this going to be good or is that going to be good? Like, especially when you're doing something as raw as this, just get in there with it. Some of those growth patterns that are in there. So we've obviously wanted to work the clipper in the opposite direction of those. And we're also thinking about how that widens things up as well. So some of them tougher areas just come through with a little bit more definition, just so we can kind of see where those lines are going. This is why the Babyliss is so good for this though, because just any clipper, well, no, we'll stick with Babyliss. They are the ones like, because it's just so open around here. If you've got like any form of closeness, like you can't see what you're doing. So to be able to do this kind of like detail work, which don't get me wrong, like it's quite a rare occurrence that you'll ever do something as mad as this unless you work on them sort of more creative things. I'll tell you who does this brilliantly, and to be honest with you, I'm always a great believer of shouting out your inspiration. So Nick Barford, thank you for the inspiration on this, because I've been watching your work and all that sort of jazz that you've been putting out, like with obviously like different prints and all this sort of stuff. Like it's quite inspired me to sort of want to do this kind of stuff. So I was like, fuck it, let's see whether we can make a do of it. So just for an example as well, because we're going to do this with the zigzag as well. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to come in and we're going to start widening everything up. Because as everything sort of stands, I'm really happy with the shape to start off with. And I was just going quite narrow to start off with. But that's just me being cautious a little bit, just because I do a lot of stuff like this. So you always want to just be a little bit on the edge of caution. But then you can tighten up any little areas, any little pieces that need sort of making a point out of the corners and stuff like that. Like, it's always good just to map things out to start off with. And like I say, I might just develop on this basically whilst we're on location. I'll get the tripod set up and stuff like that as well, so you can see us guys shooting, because we're probably going to be doing some creative angles as well. Come on.
I'm here with this big behemoth of a camera. This
tiny little thing, mate. It's a little pocket rocket. I tell you what, it's pretty sick though.
360 cam. Sort of.
You what?
What camera is it?
It's the Pocket 3 DJI.
Yeah, sick.
Sorry guys, we are going to geek out on camera equipment. So Spencer is now here with us. We're just going to walk up to location get set up. I'll probably put the tripod on as well, so you guys can sort of just see what we're all doing. And then I reckon Spencer's going to talk us through as well a little bit, like on the photography side, because obviously I know enough, but I think for you guys as well, for him to be a proper photographer, I think it'd be kind of beneficial for the audience as well, to actually get somebody who's got the real credentials, mate, like rather than
3 months when I graduate.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. No, mate, you don't need a piece of paper to say the
no.
fact that you're a photographer, mate. You do some sick bits. So there's a little project that we're working with Spencer on called the Archive. So look out for that, because it's going to be like almost like a tabletop book, but for hairdressers. So just very visually appeasing, talking about the history of haircuts and all that sort of jazz. So yeah, look out for that. Got a shit ton of projects basically for this year. It's going to be a very, very busy time, but for now, meet us on location once we've set up all the cameras, and we'll talk you through what equipment we've got and how we're sort of shooting stuff. But yeah, lots of love, we'll see you soon. Right, so Spencer.
Hello.
So Spencer's going to talk us through what equipment and everything that we're going to be using today. So I'll let you do that, man. Like, this
So
like...
we're shooting on Canon 5D. It's one of the best probably like DSLR cameras out there for the price point. We've got like a 14-24 that we're shooting on, just for that like super wide angle kind of shots. We've also got an 18-55 kit lens, just for those
let me put it on there.
more zoomed out.
Yeah, it's already on it. Let's see whether we can get this through there. You can sort of see how wide.
If I come like really close, the hand kind of distorts. So we'll be going for some of those like distorted looks today, I think.
I'm gonna say. So like, how we're gonna get that like sort of grungy vibe, I think just to have all like the edges of the shot just basically blown out, which is obviously what a wide angle does. It's just gonna look fucking sick, like. And we are looking for more like sort of grungy photography, like it's quite dramatic,
Quite
like,
an overexposed look,
yeah,
almost.
yeah, like so the whites are really white as well, like, and just not too perfect, which again is like what we were talking about when we were doing the hair. Like, I don't want everything to be in focus and crisp, like it's like just what needs to be in focus can be in focus, and obviously like the sort of, what do you call it, the focal point, the focus point, like, of
not
basically
necessarily
the shot.
the model as well for some of them.
Exactly, like, so it's going to be a cool shoot this, like, and as we sort of go through, hopefully I will have had the edits back, and then I can just sort of slide them in.
100%.
Whether I can do that, I don't know, but hopefully we will do. But yeah, literally, let's get cracking.
Yeah, sweet. Let's come a touch that way.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I'm loving this, like, the fact that your head's kind of turned as well.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do one more of them.
So we've got to location number 2. So now we're looking to basically create a look that has really nice like sort of leading lines. We're next to like 2 very, very tall buildings. We're just hitting this spot up as well, just because obviously it's got some light leads and the lighting is fucking stunning right now. So we're just having a little bit of a play around. Like sometimes in the winter you can find these little areas that just have like little light leaks, lights sort of rebounding, because the sun tends to be quite nice through the winter. But sometimes obviously if you direct sunlight, it tends to be quite hard to photograph. So like this rebounding through here and just leaking basically on a bit of a, it's almost like triangular line. It's just looking fucking stunning. We ain't even gonna need a flash here realistically. So yeah, we're gonna let Spencer do his thing, and then well, I'll just get a little bit of B-roll. Then I think we're just gonna go around the corner where there's 2 really tall buildings, and then we should be able to shoot right the way up, and that wide angle is just gonna make beautiful composition. Couldn't speak then. But yeah, let's film Spencer doing his thing. Beautiful, bro. Right guys, that has been a day in the life of me on a shoot day. I've got some meetings to do now and probably far too much work to do to realistically bring you guys along, but I hope you've liked that little bit of an insight into obviously a shoot day. Really nice and relaxed, and honestly that just went fucking sick. I can't wait to show you the photos and I'll put them in now. And do not forget to subscribe.